Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Icon aircraft sued over Lake Berryessa accident. Open government group opposes secrecy at Spaceport America. And U.S. International Trade Commission rebuffs Boeing. Hello, I'm Laura Hudson. It's January 31st, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The wife of Icon engineer Cagri Sever has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Icon Aircraft over Sever's fatal injury while a passenger aboard an Icon A5 airplane. Sever had recently been hired by the company and was on a demonstration flight with Chief Pilot Jon Karkow. During the flight, Karkow flew into a box canyon on Lake Berryessa and impacted terrain. Both were fatally injured. The suit has been filed by attorney Mike Danko, with the firm Nelson Fraenkel acting as co-counsel. Danko writes that while families could not generally sue an employer for a work-related death, the situation with the Icon accident is unusual, in that it occurred over navigable waters, which means the federal laws of admiralty apply. Those laws would make Icon responsible for the actions of its chief pilot and supersede state workers' compensation law. Sever's family claims Icon and Karkow were negligent in their conduct or negligent condition of the vessel, leading to Sever's death. The family has also sued Karkow's estate and Kurt Parker, the registered owner of the aircraft. The amount of damages sought was not specified. The effect of this and other rumored litigation on the company is expected to be quite negative, and industry watchers wonder how much of this kind of bad news Icon can withstand. We'll keep you advised. After the break, business jet sales reach equilibrium.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, Airborne Unmanned, the AMA Drone Report, our website or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Worldwide, business jet deliveries have remained remarkably flat since 2011, averaging 692 units per year with a standard deviation of just 25 units. Statistically, there's a pretty good chance that 2017 results will also fall within the same narrow band as will 2018, predicts aviation analyst Brian Foley. This trend has not been random, but rather a symphony of equal and opposite market forces holding deliveries in tight equilibrium. EASA has granted an STC to GKN Aerospace for the ADS-B out modification for the Airbus A320 family. GKN Aerospace's Fokker business has obtained the STC from EASA for the introduction of the ADS-B out modification on the Airbus A320 fleet. Last year, Fokker was selected by SmartLynx Latvia for the ADS-B out installation on its A320 fleet. On January 23rd, NATA held the first in a series of 2018 industry town hall meetings with Phoenix area companies gathering at Qatar Aviation. NATA Executive VP and General Counsel Tim Obbitz led a discussion covering a range of issues confronting the region's aviation business community, including improving relationships with the TSA and CBP, the impact of tax reform on GA, and recruiting employees to address the pilot and maintenance tech shortage confronting the industry. The FAA has issued an emergency order of revocation against TapJets Incorporated of Spring, Texas and Fargo, North Dakota, for allegedly conducting passenger-carrying flights using unqualified pilots and operating unauthorized aircraft. The FAA alleges that between September 28, 2016 and January 22, 2017, TapJets operated 10 passenger-carrying flights with pilots who were unqualified. Additionally, the FAA alleges both TapJets president and director of operations piloted several of these flights when either the crew was unqualified or the aircraft being used was unauthorized. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. A bill under consideration in the New Mexico Legislature would keep some information about Spaceport America out of the public eye, and it has the backing of the Republican governor and one of the state Senate's top Democratic leaders. The New Mexico Foundation for Open Government says that the spaceport officials have shown a disturbing pattern of not making records public that should be available. Governor Martinez and Senate President Pro Tem Mary Kay Papen say that confidentiality is necessary to keep up in a national space race. The spaceport has been controversial, called by some a boondoggle since construction began in 2006. Peter St. Cyr, the executive director of the New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, told the paper that taxpayers are stakeholders and have a right to know what's going on in a facility they paid to build. Voters in Donna Ana and Sierra counties approved the spending of $220 million to build the facility. Spaceport America has redacted some lease payments when responding to public record requests. The spaceport will be home of Virgin Galactic should they succeed in offering commercial suborbital flights in the future. After these messages, U.S. International Trade Commission rebuffs Boeing.
In collaboration with NASC, introducing Sonix Aerospace, bringing you the Taros Group 4 UAS, the redesigned Tiger Shark Block 4, and the Subsonics Twin Jet UAS, all derived from flight-proven manned systems, not concepts, real aircraft. More at sonixaerospace.com.
Welcome back. The United States International Trade Commission has determined that a U.S. industry is not materially injured or threatened with material injury by reasons of imports of 100 to 150 seat-large civil aircraft from Canada that the U.S. Department of Commerce has determined are subsidized and sold at less than fair value. As a result of the USITC's negative determinations, no anti-dumping or controversial duty orders will be issued. In a statement, Boeing disagreed with the ruling. We are disappointed that the International Trade Commission did not recognize the harm that Boeing has suffered from the billions of dollars in illegal government subsidies that the Department of Commerce found Bombardier received and used to dump aircraft in the U.S. small single-aisle airplane market. Those violations have harmed the U.S. aerospace industry, and we are feeling the effects of those unfair business practices in the market every day. Bombardier welcomed the news. Today's decision is a victory for innovation, competition, and the rule of law. It is also a victory for the U.S. airlines and the U.S. traveling public. The C-Series is the most innovative and efficient new aircraft in a generation. Its development and production represent thousands of jobs in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is currently on our winter schedule and is streamed Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, alternating with Airborne Unmanned on Tuesday and the AMA Drone Report each Thursday. Additional breaking news bulletins may be posted for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. We'll see you tomorrow.